Well, let's do it.
Okie dokie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Another episode of Red Wine and Chaos. I am Ash, and today Lara is out. But we have old John Rach here with us, with me.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here, sharing my smooth, dulcet tones.
Oh, Lord. He's not happy to be here. Don't let him fool you. He's mad that I forced him to do it. Let's talk about this wine because there's we haven't had a whole lot of major chaos lately, but today there was some. So
oh yeah, quite a bit.
We're going to talk about this wine first. Do you want to do the wine or do you want me to do
sure.
the wine?
Yeah, sure.
Since you're not drinking it.
Yep. This evening we are enjoying a Happy Festivus wine. I'm not sure if it's named or anything. It's from Leelanau Wine Cellars, which is in northern Michigan. Pardon me. And it's a red blend. There's not really a whole lot else that I could tell you about it. It is, according to them, listed as a pretty dry wine.
Mm-hmm.
When I tasted it, it didn't taste like much of anything.
So this is from my dad got me a box of wine for Christmas, and this was in the box. So shout out, Dad. Thank you. It says, Happy Festivus brings out the best in us. Do you know what Festivus is? You watched Seinfeld, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah. So I felt like this was a good wine for tonight because Festivus is about airing your grievances, correct?
Yep.
And
It's part of it.
Part of it.
Yep.
And I have some grievances with this day today.
Okay.
So I feel like it was a decent wine to share. The wine itself, I'd probably give it maybe a 1.5, 2.
You're pretty generous.
It's a really easy to drink wine. I think you mentioned downstairs that it would go well with like a charcuterie or something with a lot of flavor, like something spicy even.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, it doesn't taste like anything. So I figure you put it with something else and you might be able to pull something out of it maybe.
Yeah. It's just really easy to drink. It's not a drain dumper, but it's not.
No. Well, I disagree.
So. It's not a drain dumper, but it's definitely not one of the better blends that I've had. But it's easy to drink, and this wine, this glass will go down smooth.
Okay.
So there's that. You have to speak up. Just a little bit. You gotta speak up a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm a soft talker, so.
Well, try not to be.
All right.
So today, so with John's job, he works out in the cold.
Yes.
All day.
Yep.
And it was particularly cold.
Oh, it's terrible. It's cold as a witch's titty.
Is that a TikTok thing?
No, that's I've heard that my whole life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought that was it. I mean, I feel like I see that all over the place.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is.
It's colder than a witch's tit out there.
Yep.
And so we were texting throughout the day today, and you kept saying, I think we're going to call it. It's just really cold. I think we're going to call it. And you guys eventually did call it, right?
Yeah, we said we weren't going to work past noon.
Okay.
Because it was cold, windy, wind gusts of up to 50 mile an hour. So it's literally just not safe. So
yeah. Oh, so because you're up in buckets and shit.
We're up in the air.
So you texted me at what, 1 ish, and you were like, "I'm on my way home."
Yeah.
And it's cool. I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Then I get this phone call.
Frantic.
That's a good word. A frantic
Yeah.
phone call from
Literally,
you.
losing my mind.
What time was that at?
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm working from home today, and I'm busy as shit today. It's year end, it's month end, and it's year end, and our audit is coming. So I'm still new at my job ish with a lot of things new enough to where next year I probably won't feel so frantic, but I felt frantic today at work. And so I get this frantic phone call from you. And you basically were like, I cut myself. I'm bleeding. I have to go to the ER.
Yeah.
That was all I heard.
Yep.
And I said, where are you bleeding from? And you said, my hand. I have to go to the ER. I was like, do not go to the ER right now. It's bad enough that, like, we don't need to go to the ER. I said, an urgent care can take care of you. I said, and you can't go to the ER because it's overrun with COVID. Like, I'm not about to have you go to the ER and add to their plate. When I know for a fact that urgent care will give you stitches, because I said, is it bad enough for stitches? You said, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew that urgent care would give you stitches because I had to do the same thing when I sliced my finger open at Lars' house with a putty knife.
Right.
We need to just stay away from the knives, I think.
Oh, I wasn't using a knife.
So tell me how you cut your hand.
Okay.
Let's start there.
So I drive a bucket truck for work. It's got a big open bed on the back, and I have to carry materials and all sorts of stuff. So I had this piece of metal. I had several of them.
What was it from?
It's called riser guard. So what it does is it covers cables that run up telephone poles to protect them from lawnmowers and other stuff, essentially. So I had a bunch of those in the back of my truck. I went over some railroad tracks, and a couple of them bounced and started to slide out of the back of the truck, eventually falling out. And then I noticed it before they actually fell out, but by the time I was able to stop.
Like the bed of the truck?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I missed this part when you told me this because you were frantic earlier today.
Flashers on, beacons on, everything. You know, I'm a utility service guy, so I'm used to being able to stop traffic in the middle of the road, but this was different. It was the middle of Sprinkle Road, which is a very busy road. Yeah. I was in one of the middle lanes, so it wasn't like I was on the side of the road or anything like that. It was just like right there in the middle. Anyway, I'm picking this stuff up. I shove one piece in, and I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off because this is not a fun situation for me.
Well, and it's cold. You're in the middle of the road.
It's cold. I'm in the middle of the road.
It's a busy road.
Everybody's looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot.
Well,
I mean, yeah, shoe fits, right?
Uh-huh.
But, so I slam this into the back of the truck. I go down, I pick up the last piece, throw it in the back as well. And as I'm doing that, I look at my hand and I see some blood. And I was like, oh, I'm bleeding. I didn't feel it. That's bad. Because I don't, if it's never happened to you, if you injure yourself to the point where like you don't feel it, like it's bad.
Something has happened.
Yeah, you're like in shock essentially. And so and I'm squeamish around not blood necessarily, but like inside stuff, guts and all that.
Uh-huh.
Like I turn my head on when Grey's Anatomy shows stuff. So I was looking at my hand and like I wiggled my thumb around and I could see like the fat underneath your skin, and it like popped out and I almost puked. So
in the middle of Sprinkle.
Yeah. I quite literally almost fainted, but I get back in the truck. I call Ashley. I'm like literally losing my mind because I don't like this stuff. I get squeamish. I get, panicked. It's just not a good situation. And then she eventually calmed me down enough to the point where I was like, oh, I'm an adult human. I can figure this out on my own. I was like asking her like, well, where do I go? Where's the urgent care? This and that. And so anyway, I get to the urgent care and they're fucking
after you were licking the blood from your hand.
Well, I had nothing else to my brain wasn't working. All right. And quite frankly, you can't say that you never stuck a cut finger in your ass.
I definitely have, but you were gushing blood and you were trying to lick it.
It was the same thought process. Keep the blood in my body one way or another. Anyway, I get to this urgent care that's close by. And I walk up to the door. There's like 2 or 3 people standing outside of this place. I was like, shit, there's a line.
Well, and that one, I sent you to that one specifically because that's where I went and got my stitches done. So
Right.
I knew that they could give you stitches there.
Yeah. So I get up there. There's like a guy waiting there to like deliver like office supplies and stuff. And I was like, are they like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know. Nobody's here. I was like, oh, well, that's really cool. And then I looked at like they have like a neon sign that says like open, closed or whatever. It said closed. And then underneath it listed like the hours of operation. They were all zeros.
Really?
Yeah. And I was
and the website said they were open till 8 p.m.
Yeah. I was like, this is really weird. But if nobody's in there, you guys have obviously been sitting here. I'm just going to move along because I don't feel like waiting to figure this out with you. So I go down the road to coincidentally the same same company urgent care place. And I get there and they had a fucking realtor like lockbox, key box.
Oh, they were
like closed. Like that whole business is shut down.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
interesting.
Yeah. So I go to another place and I walk in there. It's for one of the local hospitals has like a fast care place. And I go in there and they're like, hello, do you need to be seen? And I was like, yes. I cut my hand real bad. And she's like, oh, nope, we can't help you. Because like I was unwrapping my hand to show them. And like she could see the blood and everything.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh, no. We can't do that here. You're going to have to go to this place. And so she directed me to a place
that could.
Yeah. They got me in 10 stitches later and antibiotics, tetanus shot, all this fun stuff. I'm back in fighting shape, so to speak.
Oh.
But I'm written out of work for like 2 weeks, or at least to light duty at work, which I don't know what there's going to be for me to do, but that's that.
We're going to figure it out.
So yes, it's been a day.
It's been a chaotic day today. And the fact that when you were driving and like I could tell you were so out of it, one, because you were talking super fast.
Oh yeah.
And you don't ever talk that fast. That's
or at all most of the time.
Yeah, you don't even call me. Like, it's rare that you call me. When you call me, I treat it the same way when Laura calls me. Like, neither one of you call. You both would prefer to text.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's the school calling. I bet there's a snow day tomorrow.
Lovely.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, but like, I envision this scene as you're trying to keep the blood inside of your body, as you say, by licking it off. Like, you're just driving down Sprinkle Road and you've got like nothing is covering your hand.
No.
And I was like, do you have anything to cover up your hand? And you're like, no, wait. Yeah, I do. I do. I have a shirt right here. I got something. And I was like, then cover your hand. And it just, you were just so frantic. You were so chaotic. You were all over the place. I'm glad you finally found somewhere to go. I'm glad I was able to walk you through it. And I didn't have to leave work. And you got home at a halfway decent hour.
Yeah. Respectable.
Next to the little girl that had COVID.
Yeah, that was not fun either.
We don't know if she had COVID, but
that whole place was a petri dish.
So, again, that was the reason why I didn't send you to the ER. That's why no one should go to the ER, because they're overrun. Plus, it costs more. I don't know what kind of insurance anybody else has, but it costs more for us to go to the ER than it costs for us to go to an urgent care.
Absolutely.
But man, it's wild out there.
Crazy.
I was at Walgreens yesterday, and I've never seen that many people in Walgreens before.
Yeah, there were like 15 people at the Meyer pharmacy when I picked up my script tonight.
It just is like, there are people everywhere. Everyone's trying to get a COVID test. Everyone's trying to get their hands on home tests. Like, everybody's got signs on their doors that say we don't have any home tests.
Yeah.
The earliest they might be here is like 2 weeks from now.
Yep. Order them on Amazon. They'll ship eventually.
Yeah. And even like, we ordered some on Amazon just to have. And like, I ordered them.
It was over a week ago now.
No, it was right after my birthday.
Was it?
Yeah. So like 5 days ago. I ordered them like 5 days ago, and they're still not supposed to be here till next week.
Yeah.
So like they're even taking a while on Amazon, and
Amazon can do anything.
Yeah, it's just bananas out there. It's crazy out there. So that was today, but that's not the first time that we've had some interesting days in our lives.
No.
How long have we been together?
Oh shit, on the spot here.
Like 15 years?
Yeah.
How old are we? 37?
37.
So probably going on 16 years we've been together.
Mm-hmm.
Going on 12 married.
Yes.
This year will be 12.
12 wonderful years.
Oh, look at you, Red.
Yep.
You're just...
Got to take the brownie points when they're
What
there.
a peach. So, where did we meet?
We met at Up and Under, a local bar.
Is Up and Under still open?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's still open. I don't think it's the same owners, though.
No, Heinz and Noreen sold this past year.
Yeah. And so John was a bouncer and I was a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we met. And the first time, I don't want to say the first time we talked, but I was getting ready to go on a cruise. It was August.
Right.
And I was getting ready to go on a cruise, and you had come in on your day off.
Yep.
To drink. Did you come in with all the guys?
No.
Or just by yourself? Or,
No.
No, you were with other people.
Nope. I came in by myself because I worked up the courage to come and talk to you.
No, you came in.
You were working at Boomerangs.
Well,
I might have been meeting people there, but I came specifically by myself.
Yeah, but you left me like a really big tip.
Yeah.
So you were hammered?
Maybe.
Wait.
I don't know. That was 15, 16 years ago. I don't know nothing about those days.
That's true. So you left me this really big tip before I went on vacation, and then
Put it to good use.
I did. I drank a lot on that cruise, like a lot.
Yep.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, I asked you if you wanted to hang out with me and my friends and, get to know one another a little better, and you said, "No, I'm going on a cruise." And I said, "Oh, cool. Maybe after."
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to hang out with you that night. I was like leaving the next morning.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so when I got back, we did hang out.
Yeah.
And we went to, what was it, Firehouse?
At the time,
it was Firehouse.
Then it burned down.
And then I was making a shit ton of money at Up and Under. And so, like, I remember I bought all the drinks all night. I was making like $400 a night. It was insane. Too bad that ended. And I bought all your drinks. And then, did we go back to your place?
Yep.
Or
you
mine?
took advantage of me.
I did not take advantage of you.
100% did.
No.
But I'm gonna stick to my story.
Well, I tried to make it a one-night stand. I won't say I took advantage of you, but I definitely tried to make it a one-night stand.
Well, you're terrible at that.
And that didn't happen.
No.
And here we are.
Yep. 16 years later. Wedded bliss.
What is your favorite memory of us?
It would be like our first actual date.
Oh, we went to Kansas City Dipping
We
Grill.
went to Kansas City Dipping Grill, which was the chachiest fucking place in the world. It was like it was called the Dipping Grill because you literally just got dips.
Yeah.
And they would give you a basket of chips and pita and you would just have dip.
Yep.
It was so stupid. It was open for like a year, I think.
I might have been open longer than that,
Could
but
be.
it was so far. It was so far away.
Yeah, it was out in the middle
from
of nowhere.
Like, yeah, everything.
Yeah. But so anyway, we had dinner, got some drinks, we're talking, having a great time. And then this lady over here says, I really like you, but I just want to take things slow.
I did say that.
And maybe we'll see each other a little more often after a while. And then like literally from that day forward, you basically lived with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That backfired.
I'm pretty awesome. Don't deny it.
I know you are. I think you're pretty great.
So that's mine. What's yours?
There's so many. Like, there's so many. And none of them are, I don't want to say none. I almost said none of them are good, but that's what we're talking about is the good memories. None of them are like, not none of them. Not all of them are sober.
No, I'm sure most of them aren't.
But I really, I always think about the way that you proposed.
That's a pretty good
It was
one.
pretty unique.
I mean,
and like that made me really happy because I don't like surprises, like at all. And while I don't mind being the center of attention, I didn't want, like, I never thought about being proposed to in like a skywriter or like at a basketball game,
Yeah, you didn't want a spectacle.
I didn't want a spectacle. I didn't want to be proposed to at dinner in front of all of these people. Like,
Yep.
And not that I would say no, but that's just not who I am. That's not what I wanted. And, that wasn't something we had ever talked about.
Right.
But you had just known because you're thoughtful and you pay attention. And
yeah. And I pretty much knew what the answer was going to be.
well, I would hope so.
I mean, I don't think anybody could have seen anything otherwise, but yeah, I mean, like I felt pretty confident that you were going to say yes. So Mr. Johnny Smooth over here got the ring. I asked your parents.
How long did you have the ring?
Oh boy, I'm terrible at keeping things secret,
Okay.
like hiding gifts and stuff. But I had it for about a month.
Did you?
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I know. But you're pretty oblivious most of the time to anything that I do.
That's true.
So
You just stay quiet there in the background.
Yep.
Because
So
you don't speak.
I asked your parents and got their blessing.
All three of them, right?
All
you
three.
asked all three of them.
Yep. Got everybody's blessing, and then
Did my dad cry?
No.
No.
He didn't really know me super well at that point because he's only around on holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
When you're over there, so I didn't really see him all that often. Not nearly as much as I did with Pam and Dan. I mean, I lived with them. For God's sakes.
Yeah.
So
Dan probably was ecstatic.
He
might have cried
in the moment. Yeah, he didn't when I asked, but we were leaving. Like you were there, you were in the car waiting for me, and I popped back in and asked them. But he probably did when I got out the door.
Yeah.
But so after we got back from that trip, I'm not sure when it was. It was probably, I don't know, I don't think it was like Christmas or anything. It was just a weekend that we went over.
When you asked them?
Yeah. And so that next morning, you woke up with a ring on your finger.
I did.
Sneaky.
Sneaky. I also, some of my other favorite memories are like, when we lived with Juice or when we lived with all the boys.
Oh.
Like, while it was gross and messy and weird to be the only girl with all of your friends.
Talk about chaos.
Living there. Man, we had so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And like, even when it was just me, you, and Juice, like, we had a blast. We had so much. Do you remember that one night with Juice when we thought it would be a good idea because we used to have movie night a lot.
Oh my God. Marley and Me. And
so first we watched Marley and Me, right?
Yeah.
And I think we all knew how it was going to end, but we didn't like know how, right? Like how it was going to take you all the way through the story because we didn't read the book. We were in college. That wasn't something we were doing. And so we watched Marley and Me, and we were all sitting on our like respective spots of the couch,
Yep.
sobbing.
Oh yeah.
You and Juice and me, all three of us just
little bitch
sobbing.
babies.
And that was back when we were still smoking.
Yep.
So then I remember we went outside and all three of us had a cigarette and we never even spoke.
Nope.
We didn't say a word because
we were 30 minutes.
We were just sobbing. And I remember we came inside and we were like, well, let's watch another movie.
Yep.
And it was when that Will Smith movie 7 Pounds came out.
Yep.
But do you remember the previews? It was very secretive. Like,
oh yeah, they didn't lead on.
They
to
didn't
the story
lead into anything.
Did a good job with that.
And we thought, well, Will Smith, right? Like, he's in all these funny movies. It can't be sad. Let's follow it up with a Will Smith movie. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen 7 Pounds, but it is one of the saddest movies
gut-wrenching
I have ever seen.
I was devastated for like a day.
I have not cried that much in a movie probably ever. And it was like like I couldn't catch my breath type of crying.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It was hysterical crying.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then when we lived with all the boys, didn't we have like Scary Movie Tuesday?
I think it was a Thursday. No, it wouldn't be Thursday.
No, because we were at the bar on Thursday.
Yep, Thursday. So yeah, it would have been Tuesdays.
But like, it was just so much fun. And I know that, there's all these stories not stories, it's fact. I was kind of a bitch.
Really?
I still kind of am. But what would probably piss anybody else off that you guys all used to call me bitch face and then you just shortened it to face and you call me face to my face.
Yeah.
It never bothered me. Because I knew that's who I was, because it was not easy to live with 4 or 5 boys. Yep.
Well, that's where we got Larry too.
Yeah.
Ashy Larry.
From Chappelle's Show. Right?
Perfect. Yep.
Was it that he was a character, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you guys were funny to live with.
I mean, I'm still funny to live with.
You are funny to live with. So what, thinking back to then and thinking about now, what is like in pertaining to us as a couple, like what is your proudest moment that we've done? What is it that we have accomplished together that it's like, man, that's fucking awesome?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's low-hanging fruit, but we're raising a wonderful kid together. I mean, it's challenging, obviously. There's times where there's certainly times where I would not say that, but all in all, he's the light of my life. I'm sure he's the light of yours.
Yeah.
So I don't know of any other moment that I could be prouder of, or achievement, I should say.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that is, for me, like, that's like a really proud moment, but it's also like my most challenging like aspect.
Oh, 100%.
It is not easy to be a parent, and it's not easy to co-parent, because while our ideals are
views.
Yeah, like our end goal, I feel like, is the same as far as parenting, but how we each get there is different.
Yeah.
And so that has provided some challenges. But so it is like, I'm super proud of the parents that we are, and I'm super proud of our kid, but it's a challenge every day.
Absolutely.
You want to, like, cliche wise, right? Like one of my proudest moments is that, coming from a generation of parents who, like, I can probably count on one hand how many friends I have whose parents are still married.
Yeah.
Coming from that divorce era,
yep.
if you will, we are both products of divorce.
Yep.
I think it's really cool that we're still married.
Wow, thanks.
Not that I didn't go into it thinking we'd get divorced, but I feel like that's a big accomplishment nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't, for whatever reason, divorce is prevalent, and it is, and it's, it's not a secret that marriage is work.
Right.
I mean,
100% is, and to piggyback on what you're saying, it's even more surprising that, we're able to work through all this stuff when, there's very clearly the odds are stacked up against us, as a generation.
mm-hmm.
You're talking about our parents' generation, and there's been one more and then us, essentially. But, we didn't have the cards stacked against us necessarily, but, we went to school, racked up all these student loan debts.
Right.
It didn't really turn into anything fruitful for us. And, buying a house was damn near impossible for us, and, all this stuff. And I can't imagine that wouldn't be enough to drive anybody away from one another. There's a lot of fodder for the fight cannons there.
Yeah.
In and of itself. And, we've found a way to push through all of it, and we've got relatively aligned goals and thoughts and stuff. So
how do you do that on the days when you hate me?
I go play video games and pretend to kill other things instead of you. But I'll be honest, those days are few and far between.
Yeah.
And they're typically not rooted in problems that I have with you necessarily.
Yeah.
It's more all of this other stuff bubbles up and, builds up in the back of my head. And, I just sort of, you do something that triggers me even the slightest bit, and I redirect all that frustration and anger. And so it's typically not anything that you do.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
I think, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I try to save that for the other people in my life.
Of course.
But I think that we've done a good job of like being each other's safe space, if you will, like, because I feel the same way about you. There's all these other outside factors, and then it's that straw that breaks the camel's back, if you will.
Right.
And it's like, God, he's being a fucking dick. But it doesn't ever start with you, right? It just ends with that one thing that has happened. And, but I think we're self-aware enough to know that that's what it is. And so we don't hold on to it. I think that that's one of the other things that we've done really well, is that we try not to hold on to those fights or those.
No, don't go to sleep mad.
Yeah. And if you do, if we do, I'm sure there are times that we have. No,
but I quite literally do not go to sleep mad. I will lay in the bed with my eyes wide open, huffing and puffing until you roll over and say, what is wrong? And then we'll hash it out one way or another. Yeah. And that's been my MO pretty much from Jump Street.
Yeah.
And you work along with it, and you do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's typically you're not angry at me. Mm-hmm. You're frustrated with other stuff in your life, and you don't talk about it openly until you're forced to. So
that's true. You've got my card there.
Yep.
One more quick little story that's my favorite about you. You are a wonderful husband. You are a wonderful father. You're a fantastic friend. And you make me laugh every single day. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I love you as much as I do. But I think our journey to parenthood is a funny one. Meaning, I don't know if it's a secret or not, but John and I never wanted to be parents.
Right.
We had a discussion that we were just happy with our life and we had
Yeah.
plans and goals and it just didn't involve kids and that was okay.
Yeah, I at a younger age, I kind of always envisioned myself having kids. But as I grew older and started to live life as an adult
Yeah.
in our world, that that was back 16 years ago.
Sure.
Even I had those kind of thoughts like, man, I really like having money to spend on stuff
Myself.
and not have like I don't have responsibilities that come with having a kid. So I had resigned myself to just being Uncle John. And I took those reins and ran with them. There's 10 kids across the city of Kalamazoo, along with my actual blood nephews and nieces that will always and forever know me as Uncle John.
Yeah.
Whether we're blood or not.
Yeah.
So I had resigned myself to, and I say resign, that's not the right word, but I had envisioned myself from that point forward as being not a parent.
Yeah.
So.
And I never had thoughts of being a mom. That wasn't like, I didn't have those thoughts growing up as a little girl, probably because I have 3 brothers.
Yeah. That would help.
I didn't envision myself in the white dress getting married. And not that I didn't want to get married, but that's just, I'd never pictured like, I didn't put on dresses and walk down the aisle as pretend play when I was little. And I didn't have like a book like Monica and Friends where it's like all of her wedding ideas she's ever had for her future wedding, like laid out in this 3-ring binder. Like I just never had those thoughts. And I never envisioned myself being a mom. That's just not the life that I saw in my future. And so when I met you and we both were kind of on the same page, it was just like, oh, this is nice. John can be, cool Uncle John, and I can be fun Aunt Ash and just live our lives and spoil all these kids and live for us. Like that was just my plan, my life plan. And then there was a drunken night at Christy's 30th birthday.
Oh boy.
Where you decide, did he have too much or not enough to drink? And I was on birth control. I need that to be known.
Yeah, sure.
And here we are.
Yeah.
I will always forever know how old Christy is because we got pregnant on her 30th birthday.
Yep.
Which, by the way, she will be
39.
39 this year?
Yes.
39 this year. 40.
Well, yeah.
40.
This next birthday will be 40.
She'll be 40
She's
in
39
June.
now.
Yeah. And so we got pregnant, and I found out because we had so that was in June when we got pregnant. We usually go up north for the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like 4 beers in the water.
Yeah.
And was throwing up.
Yeah, you were sicker than I've ever seen you.
The rest of the day.
Yep.
And I started throwing up at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. First of all, I've never thrown up after 4 beers.
Yeah. Really, really was a downer on my weekend.
John, somebody came in. It might have been Allie. Somebody came in and they were like, "Are you okay? I don't think you." Maybe it was Tony. It was probably Tony because he wouldn't remember because he was drunk too.
Yep.
My cousin. But they asked me, "How are you throwing up? You didn't drink that much," and it clicked. I was like, "Oh fuck! I think I'm pregnant."
Yeah.
I think I'm pregnant because I usually. TMI, but I usually get my period when I'm up north for the 4th of July every year. And I didn't. And when they asked me that question, it clicked. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm pregnant. And so then I took like 4 or 5 pregnancy tests. And sure as shit, I was pregnant.
Luckily for me, though, you waited to break the news until after we had gotten back.
I did.
So you didn't ruin my vacation entirely.
No.
Thanks.
No. I think I ruined your birthday, but I did not ruin your vacation.
Well,
So we're on this journey, this pregnancy journey. I threw up for the first like 16 weeks or was at least nauseous to the point where I thought I was going to throw up. It was terrible. And then I felt good for like a couple weeks. And then they told me I had gestational diabetes. John, as wonderful as he is, changed his whole diet for me because I had to change my diet. And so he changed it with me.
Yeah, that shit's tough.
Yeah, it's not easy. And then I had to be induced.
Ugh.
And we talked earlier that John doesn't do well with blood and guts and
Yep.
insides on the outside. So I had to be induced, and we talked about this in that shit you don't know or shit they don't tell you pregnancy episode. But John was like white and queasy the whole day.
Pretty much.
I
yeah.
was in labor for like 24 hours, active in pain labor for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And the nurse was bringing you crackers and juice.
Well, because after like hour 18, like I damn near fainted because I had been awake for, they say, hey, you're coming in to get induced. And that was like, they set it up for what, like 6 a.m. or something that we had to be there. So like, I'm not going to sleep.
Yeah.
Like I've laid in bed all night, just
Wide awake.
all a Twitter, and so we get there. I'm already exhausted.
Yeah.
Not planning on a 27-hour journey in the hospital. But so I damn near fainted. And this is before you went into the OR.
So my water broke at like 11-ish, right?
Yep.
Like before midnight, my water broke.
Yep.
When did I start pushing?
Midnight, right around midnight.
Right around midnight, maybe a little after, right? Because how long did I push for? Like, I pushed for a long time.
Yeah, it was a really long time.
And it's not. So I had epidurals, but like I could still feel everything. It was the weirdest thing. I remember I could feel everything. It was so much pain, but I couldn't lift my legs.
Right.
Like, it was very strange to not be able to physically lift my legs. I had bruises on the back of my legs. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
from
because
like holding my knees.
you were grabbing, and the nurses were like pushing on your legs too.
It was awful. So I pushed for a few hours, like 2-3 hours, didn't I?
At least 3.
Yeah, and then Oliver was stuck on my pelvic bone, so he wasn't moving. I'm pretty sure I shit on the table.
Well, most women do.
Yeah. So that probably didn't help your queasiness.
I didn't see it.
Well, that's good. They really do come in like ninjas.
Yeah. I wasn't actively helping at that point. That was like around that time was when they brought me the cookies and the juice.
You're a mess.
I was a mess.
So then I remember the doctor came in and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Like, I can't. I have nothing left in me to push. And she was like, well, good thing, because I'm coming in here and tell you got to have a C-section.
Yeah, and I was absolutely terrified.
And I remember they brought you like paper scrubs.
Oh, yeah, I had to.
And you didn't fit into them, right?
Nope, not at all.
And so.
Because they don't make scrubs for, they don't make universal scrubs for 6'7", 350. That's just not something they have on hand.
What? That's bullshit.
It is.
So they took me back to the operating room first.
Yep.
And they made you wait outside.
Yeah. So they told me to change. I could walk with you to the OR. But then I had to wait outside while they.
Was my mom there too?
No. It was just me sitting on a chair in a hall by myself,
rocking back and forth,
freaking out, quite literally, more panicked than I was today. And then they come and get me and bring me in.
And at this point, I'm already she's completely naked on the table.
She's on the table. There's a screen up, so like she can't see below her neck. The anesthesiologist is sitting right next to her. The doctors are like working
feverishly,
actively. And, again, I'm a freak of nature. I'm 6'7", so they walk me over. And this screen is like at my chest level, and like normally somebody would, their view would be obstructed. They wouldn't be able to see any of this.
Or at least it would be obstructed to the point where like
right, you wouldn't.
it'd be blurred slightly,
or you would have to like actively try
Sure.
to see. Not me. I came to the chair that they had sitting next to you. I looked forward as just as naturally as any other thing, and there is all of you outside of you. Like literally you are splayed open. It's when I say that like I was a breath away from fainting, I'm not kidding. I sat down immediately. I didn't move. I like was breathing shallow. My face was white. I was sweating.
Didn't the anesthesiologist bring us a puke bucket?
Yeah.
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 Because I was queasy too. Because I remember.
Yeah, I was holding a puke bucket for both of us.
Yeah.
He said, turn your head towards your husband. He's got a puke bucket.
We shared a puke bucket
Yep.
on the day of Oliver's birth.
Yep.
So, then Oliver, they take Oliver out, right?
Yep, just yank him on out.
And so that's where everything gets fuzzy for me.
Yeah.
Is after that. And I think it was because I was like, oh, it's finally over. Because
Well,
I was exhausted.
Once he's out, the anesthesiologist bumped you up.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, that
he
makes
essentially
sense.
they took Ollie, cleaned him up, brought him over, let you see him because you can't hold him, you can't move.
Yeah.
But they brought him over so you could see him, and then me, Ollie, and all the nurses went to the nursery.
Did you hold him?
No, not until we like he got into the nursery and they had like a diaper on him and all that stuff. Like I didn't get to hold him skin to skin or whatever they call it for like an hour. Essentially.
Oh, okay. And I think was part of that because he was considered like a preemie.
I don't know about that.
I don't think he was considered a preemie, but they took him early because of the gestational diabetes. Right. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. Maybe they had to do something.
I'm sure they had a bunch of tests, but yeah, it was.
But you were with them the whole time, right?
Yeah, he didn't leave my sight.
Okay. I remember the only other thing I remember after that is telling the anesthesiologist that I reassured him that I could not feel anything, but that I was just really tired. And so I was actively taking a nap, not passing out from pain.
Yep.
And he was like, girl, good night. Don't tell me how to do my job.
And then you woke up in the recovery room.
And that's really, and I remember waking up in the recovery room. I remember my mom being there. Mm-hmm. And then I don't remember anything again until I was back in labor.
Yeah. Fuck.
I wasn't it was like my uterus or something was contracting, but it felt like I was in labor again. Yeah. Like I was in a lot of pain. I remember like crying again. It was awful.
Well, and they had you on that stupid medicine.
Yeah, that Pitocin.
Yeah. For like a day.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Jerks.
Oh, it was awful. But it just was like that story for me and so many others like stick in my mind of, it's like a real testament to a lot of different like things we've overcome together as a couple, right? Like we shared a puke bucket together and like you just never left and you were always there.
Well, hey, if there was ever a chance and it involved puke, it was when you peeled the paint off my car.
I did do that.
That was one hell of a night.
You still married me.
I did.
I peeled paint off your car and you still married me.
Yep.
You broke my parents' toilet and I still married you.
That's true. They let you.
They did let me.
Yep.
You had already asked. I think we were engaged at that point, were we?
I don't remember.
We were engaged for like a year and a half.
I broke a toilet. I obviously don't have a very great recollection of the evening.
And you cut your face on the house.
Yep.
Just, curb grass.
That was a great night.
Curb grass. But I feel like at the backbone of everything, we're always there for each other. We always have each other's back. But we always have a lot of fun in everything we do. We try to.
Yeah, you can't be serious about stuff all the time. There's a time and a place for being serious, but it's usually very few and far between.
Yeah, that's the serious stuff's like 15% of our life.
Maybe
10.
I'll give you 10.
So we'll wrap it up. I know it was kind of a different episode. We didn't really have a We didn't have Laura. We didn't really have a plan. I wanted to sit down and have a nice, fun conversation, and then you cut the shit out of your hand, and
hey, such is life.
it just was an interesting evening. And you look like old club hand over there.
And I will for a while.
Fuck.
It's supposed to be super swollen tomorrow.
Cool. I'm so glad to have Popeye in bed.
Popeye had big forearms, not hands.
It wasn't his whole arm?
No.
Oh.
Jesus.
I didn't watch Popeye.
You don't watch a lot of things that you should.
No, don't boss me.
It's a whole... Oh, I'll just watch Grey's again. For the fucking 300th
I
time.
watch Grey's because it's the background noise. I don't have to watch it actively. I watch it while I'm working. I watch it when I'm going to sleep. I don't watch it actively.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You lie.
I don't.
You lie.
Whatever. Anyway, you guys, don't cut your hand. Have fun with your people. And
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Oh, look at you
Got it.
jumping on that bandwagon, you guys. Chaos is inevitable.
But that's why there's wine.
I love you so much. Enjoy your day, you guys. Thanks for sitting with us.